Good afternoon, good evening, everybody out there in speed gaming land. Welcome to some more Super Metroid Item Randomizer League. Today we have the second game of the Cuties coaches versus PHMR reunited. Lena first versus MarrkuRevan. I'm going to say Marku for the rest of the race. These two, in the previous match between these two teams, Baja Blood beat Metroid MST. So Lenafis looking to return the favor here for Cutie's coaches. My name is Tracy M. I've got Metroid MST on the tracking, and he's going to be excited because there's a Rinka seed, and he loves those Rinka seeds. And here we go. And these settings, as you can see at the bottom, are major minor with full area and boss shuffle. So major minor means we have all the E-tanks plus major items, including the grapple beam and the X-ray scope, shuffled amongst themselves. The minor items, missiles, supers, and power bombs shuffled amongst themselves, except for the one item in at the high jump boots E-tank will be swapped with the super missiles over on the right side of the wreck ship, just to balance things out a little bit better. And ooh, starting with charge beam. That's a really nice start because we will now not have to worry so much about ammo, which is really, really good. There we go. Get that fixed. And of course, that means Morpho will be right here in the ceiling since we always play with early Morph in our settings. Let's see what minors we pick up. Super pack, it's good. Ideally, we get a super pack and a power bomb pack. We'll see what's at the alpha missiles here. If we don't get power bombs and we don't get something good at bomb trees, so the runners may be forced to go to the right when they get to the top. Just a regular missile, so we don't have a lot of options here. Not going to be able to check the so-called meme route, the transition between Blue Brinstar and what would normally be Green Hill Zone in a vanilla map. Not going to be able to check things like Old Mother Brain 230 missiles, see if those are our power bombs, because they need some sort of explosive to get there. And BT could have bombs, could have screw attack, could have speed booster, or the intended progression could be just go to the right with that super pack, because we do have one connector blocked by the supers that we can get to. I was having a little bit of trouble with their climbs, even though each one doing a different climb strat. Not sure what's going on here with Leno on this wall jump climb. Doesn't seem to quite be getting up to get these ledge grabs onto these platforms. And we get a screw attack, so that gives us options. So one option is go up to Gauntlet and see what's there. And it could even be that there's an E-tank there that'll help us do some hell runs later on. One option is we can now go to the left and we can check the two connectors there. And of course, we still have the option of taking that super missile to the right. Marku is going to at least go to the ship. See if this is a save, see if this is a gauntlet play. We can't get the miners in the back without some sort of explosive. Yeah, chat pointing out, yeah, we could go back to Old Mother Brain, but that's that. If that's our first power bomb and that's where we have to get it from, it's gonna be a while before we get to that. Wouldn't put it past the game to do something dumb like that, but it's definitely not where the first check is gonna happen. Marco doing a good job getting up there. Leno having a little bit of trouble. Okay, and he's up as well. Do have to be careful. These yapping maws, this acid will kill you in a hurry if you get grabbed. And it is just an E-tank. But this early, I imagine both runners are going to keep that. Unless they die coming out, in which case you probably don't spend the time to come back just for an E-tank. Even though it could be a logical E-tank for hell runs coming up later. Careful, Leno. Careful. If you have that much trouble with a yapping maw, you can super them. Alright, and Marco is just gonna go ahead and go to the right and follow those super missiles. We'll see what Leno chooses to do. I did not see if he took a save. I think in either case, I had to take a save, so if this is nothing, so either one is nothing, we can come back to the ship. Red Tower is fine, so he won't need to take a reset. There's a lot of connectors here. He does have to be a little bit careful. Actually, I take it back. Red Tower is not fine. If we don't get something... Even if we get... Yeah, there's nothing here that will guarantee us the ability to do the top of Red Tower. So a save at the ship would have been really good. Because then if Marku wanted to check... And Speed Booster is really nice. If Marku wanted to check those upper Red Tower spots, if they're nothing, and he gets stuck, which can happen. There's another part of Red Tower. Speaking of, a little surprised that Leno doesn't at least check the elevator, but maybe he'll go back and check it after he checks the other portal. Let's see where these portals go. Green Hills. This is what you want to see. And Upper Norfair is not what Marku wants to see. One tank, you could probably make it far enough. There's that refill station that did look like the Croc portal, but not ideal, and really nothing you can do for the major items. The main thing you could do, the best you could hope for, is a power bomb at the one Bubble Mountain spot, and then even then that doesn't matter because you actually can't get it because you don't have bombs. So he's gonna want to either go. Ideally, he wants to go up and go back this other direction that Leno's going in, because it's a very high risk to go to Red Tower, go to the top of Red. Although we know that it's okay because we've seen the connector that Leno has found to the top of Red Tower. There's our power bombs. They're in Pink Brinstar. The one nice thing for Marku, we know if he goes up, he'll be fine, and he'll get right to this Green Hill Zone area. Or if he goes back through this way, which, yeah, I really would have gone back through that way. We know he'll be okay because we've seen one of those connectors. But you can go down a very long, no power bombs rabbit hole going up here the way he's going. So this is definitely a risk. Leno farming some supers because we do have the wave gate coming up. We don't have wave beams. We gotta use the super missiles to get through to that. MST definitely not picking up the reserve tank because he just does not pick those up. And they've Power Bomb and Alpha Power Bomb, so no more issues for Marku in terms of that. And we'll probably get to see what was at the elevator. And I'll need to farm some more supers. Okay, Marco about to find Green Brinstar. We guess we won't get to see where that elevator upright tower is gonna go to. And Leno gets that shot first try. And Gravity Suit. Okay, well, we haven't seen... I think we saw a little bit of Meridia. And chat rightly pointing out that Waterway could make a difference. Now, if it's something, then Lenofis is going to be hard-pressed to get back here, or whatever it is. If it's nothing, it'll just be a time loss for Marco. Not a huge time loss. Probably not a make-or-break time loss, but... Yeah, and I said Leno not picking up the reserve tank, thinking it was Metroid MST. He's the one on the tracking, Leno the one playing. So a little surprised that Leno didn't pick that up now that I think about it. But he knows MST's tracking and watching. I'm very disapproving of him picking up that reserve tank. Marco having trouble with the wave gate glitch. We'll have to refill supers to get it. I believe it was just an E-tank. I like this choice from Marco to try and get supers here. He's not going to get them here. He's going to, at some point, going to have to farm them or just skip the item entirely. Maybe Wave Beam will be here and you won't even have to bother. I didn't see if... Okay, so Leno just leaving the area. Moment there, I thought maybe he'd fallen, but that is not what happened at all. We got one more major here in this area that Leno can get. And just Taser Beam. Okay. So if Leno never comes back to that, that's probably the least good thing. I mean, it's not a terrible thing. If Plasma doesn't show up, they'll give his beam more damage than Leno. But it is probably the worst thing he could have found here. Like, even an E-tank would help with Hell Runs, for instance. Oh, Gravity was Wavegate. Oh, right. That wasn't just an E-tank. Thank you for reminding me. So that's a very important item, and Marco is going to have to get that. So hopefully he does not give up on that check. When you're all by yourself, having chat remind me of things is useful. Go back. Go. Oh, he still has no supers. Okay, so this spot also is not supers. It's power bombs. You could check Mission Impossible to see if there's supers there. Otherwise, he'll have to farm. And it's definitely going to lose him time here. We're going to see what this elevator transition is. This is not good. He's skipping the spot for now. Who knows where Wave Beam is? So if he can't get that, it's going to be a problem. And Leno finds Wreck Ship. And I imagine he'll do this. There's 3 bosses he can no, 2 bosses he can reasonably kill. Dragon is gonna be tricky here if that's the boss here. And we are nowhere close on ammo for a Ridley fight. 300 charge shots without a Very suit is not happening. Even the 150 charge shots for Marku would not happen. He doesn't even have gravity suit. So hopefully this is one of Kraid or Fantoon. Leno's gonna need to farm a super though. He's also gonna have to keep an eye on that power bomb count. You want to have 2 power bombs going in means you're going to be relying on drops. Okay, so the super is going to help him. Now, Leno has bombs. Where did he get bombs? Okay, so Leno has bombs. That means he will be fine. Brinstar Reserve has bombs. Thank you. Thank you to our tracker, Metroid MST. There's a reason I call the trackers the MVPs, and as evidenced right there. Now let's see what this fight is. Honestly, even if this turns out to be Ridley, just the knowledge of it being Ridley is pretty big. This is a doable Dragon fight, but ammo low, charge beam bad, Leno without that speed booster. Marku, interestingly enough, has the speed booster, but without that gravity suit, isn't going to be able to make use of it if he decides to do this. But it's just vanilla Fantoon. Okay, so still advantage Leno on here. With gravity suit and 3 tanks, this is a pretty safe fight. 2+1 for Marku is less safe. Certainly for our top runners, anyone that runs any % new route is very familiar with a much worse loadout for this fight. On the other hand, resets happen at Fantoons for a reason, so is by no means free. Also of note, Leno's going to be able to follow this to the back, and Marku's not going to be able to do that. Unless, I mean, we do have 4 items that will come available. So often in these area races, Fantoon is late, Fantoon is not in his normal spot, and we just never actually clear anything in the wreck ship. But with Fantoon here this early, I imagine we're going to see most, if not all, of the wreck ship. Now, we do have Marku with that speed booster, and there is a speed booster locked item, and Leno's going to see what that item is. If he chooses to. So it's another place he hasn't. Oh, Marku's not even going to bother. Okay. Now, could choose to take a save down here before doing this. I think this save station that's right here, I see a handful of players use it to great effect, and a lot of players just forget it's here. And I think this is a really good place to take a save if you're going to go for that Fantoon fight. And Mark was going to go ahead and leave. Maybe he'll try again at the wave gate. I sure hope so. Okay, Leno finishes the fight. Okay, we are going to go after that wave gate again, so that's good. Only 2 super missiles. He's only got 2 shots. Well, he's got 3 now. Looks like he got it. Did you get it that time? Yeah, on his last shot. Nicely done. And Various suit. Well, okay. That'll be go mode for Marku. A very, very uncomfortable go mode. It could be go mode for Lenofis as well. Depends on where Dragon is. Depends on when he gets to that speed booster. Vanilla Dragon becomes even less. So each individual boss being in its vanilla location is slightly less likely because we can't have all our bosses in their vanilla locations. Now, Fantoon already being in the vanilla location makes it even a little less likely that it'll be that Dragon will also be in her vanilla location. Marku finds Turian. Maybe he just doesn't want to go back to the wreck ship, but this is a really safe fight with Gravity Suit. Like, Gravity Suit just, effectively quadruples your E-tanks in that fight. Yeah, looks like Leno is just gonna full clear this. I don't think he's checked the E-tank location yet because he'll probably follow the connector. Could go back to Red Tower. We can finally see what that upper elevator goes to. Okay, that Spring Ball's probably never getting picked up. Spring Ball's usefulness goes way down once you get Gravity Suit. It's a fun item to have. It might be a little bit sad not being able to get that, but not gonna be a make or break. Yeah, good question in chat. I don't think Marco ever checked Terminator. Leno getting his second power bomb pack over here. And we'll go ahead and check the vanilla gravity location. At this point, I imagine he's looking for speed or ice for Meridia. I think in this position, I would seriously consider skipping all this. Because essentially, you've got all the things you hard require. And you're likely to run into enough decent stuff on the way. And again, that Dragon could very well be not vanilla, in which case you don't hard require the speed/ice. Plus, we know he's probably going to run into it. It's Spazer. If he's still looking for things, and that's a relatively quick check. But this could be something good. High jump boots would be nice. Space jump, a beam. We know it won't be Spazer beam, so if the beam will be useful. Ice beam, okay. So that's full on go mode for Lena in terms of items. Literally needs nothing else to beat the game. Probably would like a few other things to beat the game because we're still on a 200-shot Mother Brain fight, not counting ammo. Meanwhile, Marku finds West Meridia. Let's see what's at Mama Turtle, the one major item here. A really easy check with Speed Booster. And it's Space Jump. Oh, that's a nice item. That's my favorite, as many people know. And we have a reserve tank at the E-tank. Leno following his teammates' advice, never picking up reserve tanks. And we're going to see where the back of this goes. So, all the hell runs we could possibly want to do are in logic now. We've seen 2 extra reserve tanks. So if this is an upper Norfair, then I imagine Leno maybe just does it. If it's lower, he's not going to be able to do it. He'll have to walk all the way back. I don't know what save he's taken to be able to reset. There's one of our upper Norfair, and this is not ideal. Yeah, you need to... This is doable for Marku if he has full health. He does not have full health. Oh, right, we have seen this. This is Red Bryn Star. So Leno going to be at Red Bryn Star. Yeah, this is the elevator Red Bryn. Okay. So really good chance that Leno's just going to get that speed booster really soon. Meanwhile, we'll see what the crab hole goes to. Another Upper North Fair. I don't think he's making this one either. This one's a little bit easier than the one from the Chronic Boost. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, this is. It's gonna be. Oh. I don't know where his last save is. We're gonna find out. Leno wants to find out where this goes. Okay, I think this is before Gauntlet. Oh, that's really bad. Leno, meanwhile, finds East Meridia. This is really good if it's not Ridley. I mean, this is a doable Ridley fight, but we're still talking 200 shots with the Charge Ice Beam. I don't know how versed Leno is in 0% ice. He doesn't have that speed booster. That doesn't really help with Ridley anyway. Leno having taken the save over at Aqueduct. I imagine you just reset back to there if the boss at the end of this is indeed Ridley. Maybe we'll get a plasma beam at the E-Tank here. Right now, that'd probably be the best thing that he could get. MarrkuRevan picks up that power bomb. Just an E-Tank. Yeah, the thing about saves in area rando, there's so many things that can happen, and the fact that the randomizer gives you rolling saves just makes it that much better. So even if you save and it's not, you know, you can save in a bad spot and still reset to a previous save, which is really nice. Leno gonna fill up as much as he can, not mostly fill up on his health and ammo. Well, mostly on his health. Man, I didn't really. Marco has no E-Tanks now. There was one at Gauntlet. I forget what the other one, other early one the runners got was. Okay, chat. Who are we gonna see here? No, don't. I don't like this save. If this is Ridley, I would just reset back to Aqueduct. I wouldn't want to reset back here. Because you're not doing Ridley very easily. I mean, maybe he's just gonna power through Ridley even with the beam combo he has. I keep forgetting he's got various suits, so he is able to do this fight. This is a doable fight with various suit and charge. But again, I don't know where Leno is in terms of his ability to do a low ice Ridley fight, which is essentially what we got extra missiles, but that's essentially what we have here. But instead, we get Kraid, so easy peasy. See if we can get a nice quick kill here. Even has charge beam to do the more traditional quick kill. And you need to hit him with 4 supers if you're gonna open his mouth with charge though, Leno. It looks like he just fired the 3, was ready to be done, and like, no. He's hit him with 1 more missile. You're only gonna use 3 supers, you need to do the 2 missile. 1 missile open the mouth, the second missile to do damage, and then 3 supers. And does grab the E-Tank. somewhat picking and choosing what items he's going to pick up. Um, Probably feels like he has to skip some stuff. That death cost a lot of time. And this jump out is a bit of a pain. You have to do a bit of a delayed wall jump. You can do it without. Some people will just gravity jump out, but that's slow. There we go. I guess Marku hasn't gone back and picked up Speed Booster, which is that Spazer, which Leno hasn't even seen yet. And may never see at this point. Still having a pretty weak beam combination. I would expect him, if he finds it on its path, I would expect him to go ahead and pick that up. Right now, I would expect him to go to the other end of Meridia. Maybe check a sand pit on his way. Maybe even check Plasma. I don't know. Plasma's... If you're going all the way up there, it's not as out of the way as it could be, but it is still pretty far out of the way. And he'd have to bomb jump out. Would not be ideal. Looks like he wants more ammo, and I don't blame him. I mean, 10 supers with this beam combination with a possible Ridley fight, with a Ridley fight looming. I mean, I say possible, but it's gonna happen. You know, there is a Ridley out there, and we will have to fight him. That snail is a little bit too high there. You want it to be slightly lower than those lines there. It's still just a bit too high. Yeah, there. It's really hard to get him to move the small amount of pixels that you need. That looks... it's so close, but not quite. And this is a harder trick without high jump boots. There we go. It's the 15th, the third power bomb pack, which is less relevant since we have Ice Beam, because that's what you would want for Turian. Is it? Yeah, I would have grabbed those missiles. Like this is still such a low beam and such a low amount of ammo. I would even consider going through the right sand pit and hoping to get a couple super packs rather than the left for the major item. But the major item might be a beam, in which case our troubles are, well, maybe not solved, but we'll be much better off. This is... Even Wave Beam will take this down to 100 shot fight. And we do also get a miner out of this, which looked like it was... Yeah, it is super, so I'd absolutely be grabbing those supers. Grapple Beam doesn't do a lot for us, but it'll help us with farming in the Ridley area. And this will help tremendously. This means we can do at least half the Ridley fight with ammo, plus, whatever damage we can do with the missiles, and, can even use power bombs. Every super pack, it just makes that Ridley fight that much better. Yeah, and also, and as that grapple beam in particular is going to be really good for a Dragon fight. And please don't do Shackle. Oh, yeah, okay, good. We're gonna see the other end of this. Also, of note, Leno did turn his Ice Beam off. Hopefully he doesn't do the mistake of forgetting he has it. It is a thing I've seen before. This early once you have another beam, I find it not worth having ice off when you're down to... When it's only the pea shooter. I kind of agree with Leno turning this off. Good question, Chad asking me. I don't know if Marku saved before this. It is Fantoon. It is... I mean, even with only one tank, he's got gravity suit, so this is still a pretty safe fight. Metroid MST, our tracker, telling me he did indeed save. And what do we have on this end? We have Crocmire. I think we're just gonna... Hi, Croc. Hi, Croc. This is too slow. It's 2 major items. But we don't require anything else in the game. So bailing here makes a lot of sense. And I still don't think you go over to Shack Tool, although that is an option. And there's a dead fan tune for Marku. All right, Marku leaves fan tune. I imagine, yeah, he might not full clear this. It would not surprise me if he just bails after the various suit. Needs to make up some time from that death. Has speed booster, so well, doesn't have speed booster. Knows where speed booster is to get through Meridia if he so desires. There's various two for Marku. So in essence, that's go mode for him since he doesn't have to worry about since he knows where that speed is. But not exactly ideal. Okay, so Leno gonna go all the way back through here. See if he goes back to Red Tower. This will probably get him a speed booster. Okay, Marku checks the ammo item. That's a really quick check. I like that check. And it looks like he's gonna check the E-tank item. Leno about to get a speed booster. And this is careful. Okay. Spiky Room of Death is usually not that scary when you have both suits, but that was not going well. The spikes still do a lot of damage even when you have your various suit. Okay, we haven't seen this yet, as Leno breaks the tube. And it's useless. It's a thing we couldn't check at the beginning of the game. Okay, and Norfair, we haven't seen much Upper Norfair. Oh, we've seen connectors there. We haven't done anything in Upper Norfair. And there's connectors there we have not seen yet. Have we seen? I don't think we've found LN yet at all. Okay, there's West Meridia. I would do Upper Norfair here. Because we have the two business center. I think we've seen Chronic Boost. This is the Croc Door, and we've seen Double Chamber. But I do not believe we've seen either of the business center portals. There's a really good chance that one or both of those is going to be useful. Leno is going to prioritize portals here. I don't know that he's seen. Question at why is it called Business Center? That's a name that came way before I was involved in this game, which puts it really old. But I imagine because all the business happens there. You got your high jump boots off of there. You've got your ice beam off of there. And Marku did not just leave. I mean, it'll be good because he'll be able to get that ice beam. He won't have to rely on going back for that speed booster. But he also doesn't save the time. And Leno ends up right back in Upper Norfair. I could even see checking some of these majors, because again, we have a bunch of majors that are right near minors. And supers right now are almost as good as picking up beams. But not gonna check the wave beam. Not gonna check any of the Bubble Mountain checks. Let's see, maybe he checks high jump. That's 2 minors and a major. There's Ice Fiend for Marku. Yeah, is gonna check the high jump boots area. Just double missiles. I would take those, honestly. The more ammo you have for the Ridley fight, better off you are. Unless I find, yeah, that's an E-tank. Yeah, might as well grab it. And this missile in particular is, wow, I was about to say, you don't say, like, the amount of time it takes to pick up that missile, it really doesn't save you a lot of time. Just skip it. And Leno is still on path to a really awful really awful Ridley fight. This is not, and also this is not the. Did he check the other business center connector? Because it's entirely possible this is just some sort of loop. I think it's maybe not. Maybe it can't be. I don't know if we've seen all the West Meridia portals. So it may very well be that it can't be. If Parade maybe is at the end of this, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Chat saying at the end here is either Business Center, West Meridia, or Crade. Those are the ones we don't know. But yeah, I would check both before choosing to do it this way. Because here now he's going to have to bomb jump up here because he doesn't have high jump, he doesn't have space jump. We know where space jump is. It is at Mama Turtle. We have not seen high jump. Or he could do charge ice. There's some charge ice strats you can use, but he already killed the space pirate, so that's actually not an option. And Leno having the normal issue of speed plus no high jump means your jumps are bad. Marku picks up his speed booster. Oh boy. It's dangerous. Okay, there we go. Here. This part right here, I think, is really actually feels pretty good without high jump. And then you have to get up here. This part feels less good. I wonder if he'll check this major item first, just in case it's a beam. Nope. 50-50, this is Ridley. I'd say, I mean, we have left. We have Ridley and Dragon left. So it's maybe a little bit more like, no, I mean, because we already know that, we already know that Kraid is over at Dragon, so whatever the exact number is, it's essentially 50-50. Because what you really would do is you'd figure out what all the possibilities are left. And yeah, the sequel cost is 50-50. Grab those supers. Why no save for Leno? Because, I mean, saves take time. But this is not a great Ridley fight. He should be fine. Like, this, he's got the charge beam, he's got Like, he's got enough ammo with the power bombs that he doesn't really need to use the charge beam. Um, and of course, this could still be Dragon, and if it's Dragon, it'll be a very quick grapple kill. Or maybe it won't be a quick grapple kill. We'll see. But it would be an easy grapple kill. I know if it were me, I'd be hoping that this is Dragon. Give me a chance to pick up at least one more super pack. 45-25 is pretty comfy. 45-20, not nearly as comfy. And yeah, I would also farm up to full supers. And it is Dragon. Meanwhile, Mark is going to check some of these Bubble Mountain areas. He really should. I mean, all he needs right now is E-tanks. Like, go, go, go. You know, you lost all that time at the beginning. You know, it makes me wonder if he's just figuring that with that death, he's already lost. And that could be true. But, like, things happen. You know? There's Wave Beam. You know, this is not... You know, because we don't, this isn't like a Link to the Past, you know, where if you die, you get to keep everything, you know. A bad death for Leno, and Mark right back in this. Assuming, you know, we always make the mistake of assuming that our opponent god routes something. And then, you know, it's almost never the case. Also, I don't know why Leno's not using the grapple. He'd be done by now, even without a grapple quick kill. So it's one less good item for Leno that's available. That will not be Wave Beam. Could still be Plasma Beam. Could still be High Jump. Could be an E-Tank. All right. Escape here. Leno will come out the other end. This could be Kraid's lair, which would be ideal. Hopefully he can pick up at least one. There's a couple of spots where he can pick up ammo and a major available. E-Tank at Wave Beam for Marku. Bomb is a really nice thing to have when you're going through the Lower Norfair escape. Effectively takes your bomb need down from 6 to, I think, just 1 for power bomb, your power bomb need. Yeah, we are going to check this minor, or sorry, this major. There's still enough good things out there that Leno doesn't know this is worth it. I might have grabbed the E-Tank, I don't know. But, you know, 6 is a pretty good amount. Yeah, we did see high jump boots. I want to say this was just an E-Tank. Maybe even it was a reserve. Interesting to see if he checks the, you know, honestly, I'd be taking those missiles. Like, if he'd been taking all these missiles he's skipping, he would have a full-on projectile fight for Ridley. Because 60 missiles will make up for the 10 supers he doesn't have. And he's definitely skipped more than 3 missile packs. That super will help a lot, though. Yeah, Baja, you say Ridley has plasma, so it's fine, but I'd want that plasma before I kill Ridley. Okay, let's see where this goes. Looks like this is gonna be yeah, it is indeed gonna be Kraid. Which means the other side of Business Center should be that last, West Meridia portal. And just a reserve tank. Yeah, he's thinking they can't all be normal missiles. Well, let me tell you, they in fact can be all normal missiles. That absolutely can happen. There is not a set number of I would've God, why aren't you checking the other ammo spot, Leno? We know this is gonna be Ridley. But anyway, yeah, the way the ammo works is it's not that there are a set number of each ammo item. Whose SMG3 does that? But in this randomizer, what happens is every time an ammo item hits, except for the ones that are designated as your first missile, super, and power bomb, it's a out of 6 dice roll essentially. So 1 out of 6 it's a power bomb, 2 out of 6 it's a super missile, and 3 out of 6 it's a missile. So that means there's a lot of dice rolling that can go the wrong way. And yeah, this is not a good start to this Ridley fight. And he did not come in with enough projectile ammo for it. He had less than 30 missiles. I really would have liked to have seen him get to at least 30 missiles before coming in here. So he's gonna use these power bombs to damage Ridley down a bit. But yeah, he's got enough ammo. I mean, this is more than doable. I just don't like the way he's taken this fight. This is not okay. Now we've got the pogo pattern. This is much better. And Ridley already turning that nice purple color. Another thing of note: not having high jump boots definitely affects this fight. Especially if you forget you don't have high jump boots. I know that's happened to me. I don't know where Leno's last save is. Leno, use your 7 supers, please. Please. Leno, face tanking Ridley, not the strat you want. You've got 7 supers. Use them. Meanwhile, Marku heading down towards LN is gonna take a safety save here. Did he not go back and get his? He didn't. Oh, he was just doing gravity. Okay. Oh my God, Leno. Leno! Calculated as teammate Metroid MSD says. Oh my God. Yeah, please take that. Take the E-tank. Get the refill. Oh my God. Marku, meanwhile, he's gonna go for this fast pillar strat. Doesn't want to do it from, it's a little easier if you do it from the previous room. So he'll go all the way to Ridley at Kraid's area and then back down, similar to what Leno's doing, only he still has to go back through East Meridia to get Kraid killed. Leno just needs to get back to Green Brinstar. And we are going to get a reverse acid die. This is going to be hard required to do this. It's a shame that neither one of them has that space jump that's sitting there at Mama Turtle. Yeah, I agree with you, Ace. That wasn't as bad as it would have been if Leno had taken some of those free missile packs that he had available to him. This is also not free here. Okay, gets through just fine. Let's see which way he goes. I would go through, yeah, Mickey Mouse so that I could get one more ammo check. Or just skip the ammo too, that's fine. If you're not gonna get the ammo, I don't think this is nearly as good a way to go. So where is our plasma beam? I guess what our outstanding major checks, GT right in this area, so it could be right below Leno right now. Definitely not gonna go there. We also have Shack Tool. That may be it. Plasma. We have plasma, so 3 locations, and 2 of those are good items. One of them's plasma, one of them's high jump. So I would just go across to Business Center here, get back to West Meridia. I'm pretty certain there are portals there that'll take you to Red Tower, which can get you to Green Hills. Yeah, with speed, this run and jump doesn't really work. You can get a little bit of speed from the yeah, there we go, he got it. It's a much more difficult jump with speed on. Oh, X-rays are other missing items, so yeah, that's those are those 3 locations. I think we've seen everything else. And meanwhile, Marku is gonna go into the fight here, which was Dragon. Alright, and we're back over at still does it still d no, there's all these missiles that he could have picked up that would just make the Mother Brain fight so much better. The last save that I know for Marku was the one at, right after he did his gravity jump to get down here to LN. So he's got a fairly recent save. I don't know if he saved at the Key Hunter stairs. Ooh, it's a rough death for Marku. See where that puts him back. Yeah, how many charge I shot? Yes, 200 is correct. I mean, granted, it won't be that many because 'cause he'll have ammo. Okay, Marco gonna go right back at it. And as far as the 60 health for Lenofis, not gonna be an issue because the, elevator will refill him. Yeah, and I agree with MSG, but Mother Brain is easier in general than Ridley to handle, on this kinda loadout. This is not quite the low percent ice fight because the low percent ice fight in, uh normally would have only 3 tanks, he's got 7, and would only have 10/10 ammo, and you won't have any of it left. Yeah, Zeb saying 85-ish shot, that sounds about right. It's definitely he has more than 50% of the shots covered by the ammo. Could have even more if you 5 he skipped 4 or 5, easy missile packs. That like, literally any other beam like, if he had another beam, I think I would support skipping those missile packs, but charge ice is just so slow. And Marco, meanwhile, back into the amphitheater, with not a lot of health. Fortunately, with that screw attack, he should be safe. Yeah, it looked like a half-hearted attempt at a baby skip, which, without high jump boots isn't gonna happen, so. Alright, gets the refill. Okay, he's using missiles here, which indicates to me that he's gonna do a bit of a refill. He's gonna take a save. Yeah, let's see if we can get this Zep skipped. So, hmm. He used missiles for the Ghidorah, but still didn't go for the refill. That's a little odd. Uh, you always wanna be using your supers on those unless you're planning on refilling. Because the Ghidorah, it doesn't make a huge difference, but it's faster to use a super and the HP you're using is the same. But on the red door sorry, yeah, the red doors, you're using more HP by using 5 missiles, rather than 1 super that is, 300. A very simple math. Use the one that causes less unless, of course, you're refilling. Now, if you're refilling, then, yeah, go ahead and use those missiles. You can't refill the supers. Is gonna use an ice shield. This is a pretty standard low percent ice trap. Got lots of power bombs. Fortunately, can't actually fire anything while that ice shield is going. Looks like he's gonna use, just use the ice beam for a while. Honestly, I would go ahead and fire off, enough supers to get down to 15, then just shoot a bunch of ice beam shots um, until ketchup, and then just fire off the supers. Some runners would choose to fire the supers first, all of them. 'Cause that is a silly the ketchup beams, while they're more dangerous, and that's a missed super, that's not ideal. While the ketchup beam is more dangerous, it is easier to spot, easier to dodge. Marku back in the Dragon fight. Yeah. and it's down to just his charge beam. This is not ideal. Oh, charge wave. A little bit better. Yeah, the unfortunate thing for the Dragon fight is you can use power bombs to get rid of the goo, but if you use power bombs to get rid of the goo, they don't drop anything. So right now, ideally, if you're Marku, you wanna be firing at that goo, and you wanna be picking up the drops, and not yeah, if you yeah, that okay, good. Oh, just missed the 2 big health. That's so bad. And using that screw attack to get her away from you is also good. I was gonna take it. I think he if one hit from the tail. And there's ketchup for Leno. Means he'll have about 50 shots left to go. Give or take, depending on how quickly the ketchup phase actually started. Also, another place where you really wish you had that high jump is just the jump height, avoiding things just not quite as good. Alright, we are done with Mother Brain 1. We're still in this Dragon fight. It's 79 health. Oh, and he gets hit. Oh, no. Another death to Dragon. I think that's gonna do him in. Yeah, and that's the forfeit for Marku. 2 deaths to Dragon, and earlier death in the heated room. Kinda hard to blame him. I'm of the opinion that you don't quit until you see your opponent that done, but, certainly, the game hasn't treated him well. That first death is the more costly one, honestly, because he had some good items, before that first death. And then, just had to skip a bunch of things because, you just have to be aggressive at that point. Meanwhile, we'll have Leno in the final cutscene. I mean, you could technically do stand up with these E-tanks and you have charge beam, but I don't think it would even save you 1 shot, so now we've got a real beam, and we can actually do real damage. Yeah, it's really hard to say what would've happened had Marku not taken that first death, because he did go the path to doing wreck ship and getting your various suit there, was a much cleaner path than what he was potentially on, going up to Upper North here. But it would've been really interesting to see. I'm sad we didn't get to see it. In the meantime, Leno just has the escape to get through. And this room right here, the so-called Leodox room, named after one of our old-time runners for having issues in here, is the worst room when you don't have high jump. Absolutely hate this room without high jump. It's where I miss it the most. I don't do a good job in it though. At least in the second half. Last spark up the climb. And Lenithus is going to take this one for Cutie's coaches with an official race time of 1:10:02. GG's to Lenithus and Cutie's coaches splitting the series this week. And hopefully we can get our runners in. Also, I really want to know where those other items were. And Leno.
Hello, GG.
GG. Can we have a word about that Ridley fight?
That was fine. I had 18 health left. That's 17 more than I need. We're good.
You know, there were a lot of free missiles before. You know, how many times have we watched a race together, you know, in Metroid MST's Discord and yelled at people for not picking up ammo?
Yep, and I had a feeling that was going to happen, but that's definitely true of early game. You definitely want early missiles, as many as you can get. But, you know, starting with charge, I was mainly looking for supers once I had enough power bombs. I felt like my missile count for Mother Brain, you know, Mother Brain room was fine.
Yeah, I mean, let's worry about the Mother Brain fight. More worried about the Ridley fight. You know, going in with less than, you know, 25 supers is good, but you know, I like to have at least 30 missiles.
It's fine.
MST yelling at you. Only, you know, late missiles are good when you only have ice beam.
Yeah, that's partially why I took the safety save before Dragon and Precious, because I was expecting the Ridley fight to be there, and like, you know, that Ridley fight can go sideways with this loadout. Let's take the save just in case.
Yeah, that save was interesting because I kept forgetting you had various suits, so I'm sitting there going that the better save would have been to just use the one at Aqueduct. But I mean, it was a doable Ridley no matter what. So unfortunately, and then it just ended up being Kraid. You know?
Yeah. And this really felt like a speedrunner's progression. I see the credit says basic, and I'm like, no, I disagree. Game, I disagree with that. This felt like speedrunner's progression.
Yeah, I mean, those terms mean so little.
That's true.
For what actually happens, you know, what the computer thinks a thing is versus what we think a thing is. Now, no plasma wave we saw. Spazer we saw at Waterway because Marku had initially gotten that. He found his speed booster at Spazer before he went into Greenbryn.
And credits are saying plasma was at Grapple, so I was not doing Croc. There's no way.
There is zero. We're trying to figure out where all the things were. High jump and X-ray. Well, that's kind of doable, but
that,
I mean,
that would have been nice. But I was in Go mode by the time I got back to Redbrand. Sure. I did. That's too far out of the way for a major. By
the time you had items to do that, and space jump we actually saw on Marku's side at Mama Turtle, but unfortunately he took a death to a heated run from Double Chamber. And didn't have a recent save. Took him all the way back to a pre-gauntlet save. And he tried his darndest to do all the things by skipping the things. So low E tanks, and took a couple deaths to Dragon. Didn't have the grapple beam to make the fight easier. And yeah, so I mean, he as you saw, he forfeited around the time that you were in Mother Brain. But it was a rough go after the initial death.
Yeah, he said that let me look at the chat here. Died in Norfair, just started going downhill after that. Like, I know that snowball effect that you feel, that pressure that just builds up. Like, I know exactly what Mark was talking about there. That is such a hard thing to overcome.
Yeah, yeah, it
And
is.
that's definitely true with platformers. Looking at you, Mario 64. Like if one mistake happens and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and there's no recovery from it.
Yeah, it's tough, you know. Like this is not an easy game, and I mean their
hmm
team over there, they got their first win this week, and yeah, they've had some tough matchups, but I think their schedule might get a little bit easier, and I think it's a good team over there. So I
hmm
think I think they're gonna do. You know, they still have a shot at doing well in this division, but it's a tough division. So
It is. This is a
well, they're
very
all
tough
tough. I
division.
say that, but all the divisions are tough. So we kind of
Yeah,
made it that way on purpose. We didn't want to have one super easy division, like one really
yeah.
hard division.
You,
So
you don't want one. You don't want one with a group of death. And you don't want one where you're just gonna slide on through.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
I like the even keel that we
hmm
have this year.
Yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, um, anything else? I mean, next week. Let's talk about next week real quick. We're gonna
Okay.
have full co-op, full everything, but we're not doing the area yet because that'll be week 7 where we just turn everything on. How you feeling about full co-op next? Full co-op with countdown.
All of us are racing next week in A team. We're coming for you. We pity the fool who put odds on you. You're going down next week.
Oh, those are fighting words. I think Ace is. I see Ace in chat. I don't think I see Duck or Azure in there too.
Yeah. We're coming
uh,
for you next week.
yeah, it's gonna be a fun matchup. Two teams of full of my friends going at
Yep.
it. So
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. Trash talk aside, I think it's going to be a good matchup next week, no matter what happens.
absolutely. All right. Anything else you want to add before we go ahead and close this out?
That Mother Brain, I wasn't expecting that first catch up, so this is why I don't do low percent ice or low percent speed.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of those either. So, all right. Okay. Well, thank you, Leno. Also, thank
hmm
you to Marku. Do you know how to say his name properly? Because that's what was going to be one of my
uh,
questions if you
I
can't make
don't
it
really
either.
know because Marku goes by a couple different names on
I see.
in the Prime discords that he's
Mhm.
in.
Yeah,
So
that's right. Because that team is full of prime players.
yep, and they are about to reach their prime, and they are going to be victorious next week.
All right. I have no idea who they're playing, but anyway, yeah, we do have more races on the schedule. We have 2 races going on right now. They both start at 7:10. Over on Speed Gaming 3, we have Skipsy versus Scupula, and over on Speed Gaming 2, we have Simo versus Hacksaw. And then at 9 o'clock over on Speed Gaming 2 as well, we have Gameaholic versus Sunwoo Farmer. I should have done the name Skipsy versus Scupula. There's Tales of the Dread Metroid versus Died at the Ship. Simo and Haxo, Chicago Bullies versus Remembered Highway, and Gameaholic versus Sunwoo Farmer. Unretired Rando Streamers versus the Tenacious 3. A couple races on the schedule for tomorrow. No channels yet, so keep an eye on that schedule. And then we'll be into week 4 and that aforementioned full no countdown, but co-op. Looking forward to seeing that. That's going to do it for me. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you to our runners, Leno and Marku. Let's get the command out here in chat. There we go. Go ahead and follow those runners. And of course, thank you to Metroid MST for doing the tracking. Trackers always the MVPs. And yeah, we will see you at the next one.